Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I've been told that I'll lecture for 2 minutes, but I'll take more time. I know this is an imposition on your program, unscheduled, but I'll take the liberty of doing so. Most participants are yet to come, it seems. Congratulations to all of you for organizing this and for having the interest to do so. By the way, here's something practical. The word deity is spelled D-E-I-T-Y, not D-I-E-T-Y, as it's written here and around the corner. So, you might as well learn to spell it D-E-I-T-Y, deity. So this is a youth festival organized specially for the youth. But actually the subject of the festival should not be the youth, but should be Krishna. When you come to the actual purpose of a festival, then the subject is Krishna. Now, why is there a youth festival? We don't have old people's festivals, do we? Geriatric festivals? We don't have that. The youth is, in modern life, youth is considered the best time. Because in modern life, in materialistic life in general, to enjoy yourself is considered the best thing you can do, and in youth there's the best opportunity. Because the body is young and fit and healthy, mostly. And Maya gives a strong sense of enjoyment in youth. And the body is quite resilient, so that even if we do things which are not good for the body, such as staying up all night and dancing at some party with the decibel level far too high, we recover quite quickly. Although actually the ears are damaged for the rest of life, but you don't understand it at the time. But gradually the effect of old age wears in, and we have to suffer for that. So the youth festival is arranged because, in the modern age especially, there are youth festivals. Previously there were not youth festivals. But because youth in the modern age tend to be in a world of their own, thinking that we know what's best. And this way of life that we're living, the older people, they can't relate to, they're stupid. Everyone over the age of 25 is completely stupid. Only we understand how to properly live. So this is foolishness. Material life means foolishness. Material life is based on enjoyment of the senses. Eat good food, have sexual partners, enjoy yourself as much as you can. This is foolishness because it simply leads to suffering. It doesn't ask the important questions which should be asked. Or what is the actual purpose of life? Enjoy now, suffer later. It's enjoy now, pay later, enjoy now, suffer later. The more we enjoy in youth, the more we have to suffer later. That's a fact. So in youth, the foolishness is more pronounced. Because that strong feeling, I can enjoy myself. So this festival is set up to appeal to the youth. Because when I say they, that means you have this strong feeling that you want to enjoy, we're different. But actually, much of all this idea of fashion and enjoyment and music, rock music and all this kind of, this actually comes from a mass media which is meant for exploiting us. Just like for the so many generations, Coke and Pepsi, they target the youth. And they give the idea that in youth you should drink Coke or Pepsi, and this is something to do which is part of being a youth. So they create advertisements so that you think that Coke is something you should do in youth. They exploit the idea that in youth you should be very active, very sensual, and this is all part of it. And the fashion industry, actually there's no need for fashions. But the fashion industry is created to make people buy things which they don't need. And for instance, to wear Nike shoes. So you can buy any other shoes at a much cheaper price, but people buy Nike shoes because they think it's fashionable to do so. So in this way, people are being exploited. There's a youth culture has been created. Basically, it's been created by the mass media and by the commercial interests to exploit people and make people think, now we are young and we are enjoying ourselves. But actually you're just being exploited, that's all. So, this kind of music, modern music, dress, this is all identified with the youth culture. But actual human life is meant for a more sane way of thinking, a more peaceful way of thinking. Youth doesn't last. After a short time, it goes away. And the reality of living in this world, the phantasmagoria of enjoying fast cars, fast motorbikes, fashions, heavy music, it fades away into the reality of working hard to make a living. For what? For what? That's the question. That's the question that no one is asking. Therefore, material life is foolish. Because people don't even ask, why are we here? Where are we going? What should we be doing? The important question is, why are we suffering in this world? But especially in youth, the idea is that we are enjoying. The feeling is that we are enjoying. But actually there's no enjoyment. The fact is there's no enjoyment in this world. So, in youth or at any time, if we can be intelligent enough to understand that we have this human life, it is meant for better things than jumping around, dancing to some inane music. Human life is meant for understanding actually who we are. Human life is meant for seeing the reality that there is birth, there is death, there is old age, there is disease. How to go beyond this. If you've listened so far, you're doing pretty good, because most youth are not interested in these things at all. There's a whole life out there on the internet. But that's illusion on top of illusion. Anyway, this material world is illusory. And the internet is further illusion. So what is reality? In this material world, reality is experienced as pain, as suffering. Reality is experienced as old age. Now you don't think of old age, but very soon it will be upon you. So in traditional life or sane life, the culture was such to save people from the excesses of youth, from the euphoria of excessive enjoyment which comes in youth, to keep the consciousness cool, so that we can think about the really important questions. Who are we? Where are we going? What happens after death? What is the actual meaning of life? Actually, even before youth, from childhood, the training should be in sense control. Because the more we indulge the senses, that means the more we try to eat and drink things that are pleasing to us, the more we indulge in sexual activity, the more we try to enjoy ourselves, the more we get entangled in the illusion that forces us to have birth, death, old age and disease. So in sane cultures, which means not the culture of the modern age, the training from childhood is how to control the senses, not how to indulge the senses. So this youth festival has been arranged. We'll let out the secret. How to bring you to the point of understanding the need to control the senses. But it's being done in a roundabout way. There will be music and dancing with modern style music. I don't know. I presume that's what's being arranged. But the idea is to get through the message that human life is not meant for mindless living. Human life is meant for thoughtful living and meaningful activity. Ultimately, that means to understand there is Krishna. Krishna's always a youth. You are not always a youth. Now you are a youth, and after some time, those unwanted lines, you'll start to see them on the face. And then the hair will start to go white. And you can put the mehendi in the hair, but people will understand it's coloring. Right, Mahesh? You were young and fresh not long ago. Now the body is wearing out. My body... Now I just fell over a little... At the age of 20, you just get up and go on. But at this age, crack. Bones are broken. So, it's going to happen to you too. So there are two ways you can respond to this. One way is, okay, let me enjoy while I can. That's one way of thinking. The other is to think, how can I get out of this damn mess anyway? I'm enjoying myself, and then after a short time, I have to suffer old age. The digestion doesn't work. The hearing stops working properly. Vision. What's the word for short-sightedness in Hindi? Chalisi, yeah. So what does that mean? After 40. After 40, you can't see properly. It's just expected. Right? Putting on your glasses there. So this is a completely miserable youth festival. I'm talking about all these horrible things. Nasty things. What kind of a festival? What's this? Some kind of horror festival or something? Well, welcome everybody. You are all stars in a movie. You're all stars in the movie called Your Own Life. And guess what? It's a horror movie. You're all stars in the horror movie where it all starts off nice, and then gradually, just like you can see in some horror movies, there's a metamorphosis. That you have a nice body and gradually you turn into a fiend. Well, it happens to all of us. The body, the young and beautiful body becomes the old and ugly body. So, What should we do? We should become sane, become cool-headed, cool down. In youth, too fast, too loud, too stupid. Cool down, cool down. In youth there is a be cool. So that's our message. Be cool. Cool down. Just think, what is the actual purpose of life? Try to find that. Happiness does not come from sense enjoyment. You can have the best fashions, have a very good looking body, very healthy body, money. It won't bring happiness. Mahesh, you're a relatively rich person compared to others. Not very rich, but little richer than most people. So, does that bring great ecstasy to your life? No. Wealth doesn't bring happiness. It's a big illusion. Some people are very good looking. Does it bring them happiness? No, it brings a sense of being better than others, but no happiness. So, to make a long story short, happiness is with Krishna, who's the eternal youth. He never grows old. He's always happy. He's a good musician, great flute player, has lots of parties. Krishna's always having a festival. Krishna doesn't have to go to school and then have a party maximum once a week. He has a party all the time, every night, and he never gets tired. So we are calling to join Krishna's party, join Krishna's festival. But for that, purity of consciousness is required. This word, purity, that should become the part of the vocabulary of the youth. How we can be pure in consciousness. So please don't just go along with the crowd of being so-called cool and fashionable. But as it's stated here, discover yourself. Who are you? You are not a youth. You are an eternal part and parcel of Krishna. This youthful existence will change very soon, but we are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. So please try to understand this with a cool head and join Krishna's party. Actually, in Krishna consciousness, we have a party every single day. I first realized this when I first came to the temple of Krishna in 1975, which was before all our youth here were born. And I arrived in the evening and stayed overnight. They got me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, which I'd never heard of before. I mean, 4 o'clock is going to bedtime, but getting you up at 4 o'clock. They gave me a cold shower. That was in England in the winter. You can't imagine what England in the winter, what a cold shower is. Especially, they didn't even tell me they were going to do it. They just put me in the shower. And then there was Mangalarti at 4:30 in the morning. And everyone was dancing. And I understood, these people are real. They're really getting a higher pleasure, which I can't even imagine. That every morning, they get up early in the morning, in the cold winter, and they're dancing every morning at 4:30 in the morning. They've really got some higher pleasure, which I have no idea of. Otherwise, who will do that? So every day in Krishna consciousness is a party. Dancing and singing for Krishna. And it's so good that we don't even want to sleep until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Why waste so much time? So that was my realization. In my youth, at age 18, I entered a Krishna temple and saw what a superb life people are having. In those days there was no internet, fax machines hadn't even been invented. Even these little cassette recorders, that a few people had. So it was very primitive, Stone Age you could say. But that culture was there. Enjoy, go out, Friday night, Saturday night, enjoy yourself, which means get drunk, talk loudly, talk a lot of nonsense, and then wake up in the morning with a headache, and then go back to work on Monday. But I could see that how these people, they're having such a better life. And what they talk about among themselves, without having fashions, without having money, without caring for money, they're fully absorbed in a higher platform of bliss. So why not try for that? Why not try for the best thing you can do in your life? What's the best thing you could do? Become a Bollywood star? Miss World? Prime Minister of India? That's President of the United States? Nobel Prize winner? Cricket star? Cricket star, yeah. The next Sai Baba? There's a vacancy there. Great job. Lots of income. Worshipped all over. Who wants to be the next Sai Baba? Grow your hair Afro style. How about a female Sai Baba? Where is it? Now we have the age of, feminine equality, gender equality. How about a Sai Babini or something? Sai Bibi. All this is useless. All this is useless. To be a humble servant of Krishna, this is actually meaningful. You can believe me if you like. Best if you do. That's my 2 minutes up. Right? It's a bit more than 2 minutes. Anyway, have a great festival. There's no headache at the end. No alcohol. Party with no alcohol, no smoking. What kind of party is that? Good party. Party of purification. Everything for Krishna. Here we have, sitting here, some youth. Where are you from? Atul and Co. Which country are you from? You're from Sweden. Sweden and Spain. So how old are you? We have a 17-year-old from Sweden and a 18-year-old from Spain. So they're spending their youth living in Mayapur, the Dham of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and studying Vedic mantras, Vedic culture, Vedic music, sense control, for the higher purpose of life. So I recommend you speak to them. See how they're spending their youth. Maybe you could, I don't know if they have time, you could chant some mantras or whatever. Anyway, please see them. A youth with a different outlook, which we invite all of you to partake in. Thank you so much for listening to me, for being so cultured and kind to listen to me. In many parts of the world, after speaking for 3 minutes, I'd be heckled. No, that is heckling. People start shouting at you. So, thank you for kindly listening to me. Please listen to what I said. I have written some books for youth, but one of them is out of print, so I don't have it here. But that one book, if you really want to revolutionize your life, you can see. There's one book here I wrote called Brahmacharya in Krishna Consciousness. means how in your youth and throughout your life to have the best sex life. How to have the best sexual experience is described in this book. What is the best sexual experience? No sexual experience. Try and work that one out. Well, read the book and you'll find out how. Yeah. So that book is available from Patita Pavan Das, a youth aged 17, 18, 19, age 19, who this morning took initiation into the Vaishnava Sampradaya. In his youth, he has decided that the purpose of my life is to be happy always in Krishna's service. So thank you again, and on with the show. Hare Krishna. Oh, and yeah, I have to go to Abu Dhabi, right? I better go. I'm supposed to be there in about half an hour.